look at how this catches attention. All those people gather here and sit around and watch firework. Because at some point in history, people said this now at the time, and they where the year changes. But why exactly? The year change could also be tomorrow or yesterday, but it has been for some random reason decided for today. And it has been assigned with fireworks because they were something special years ago, decades ago, and marketed, like commodified, commercialized. It makes profit and simultaneously gets attention. It makes people happy by them attaching their emotions to the experience of watching this. So this is the reason why people are gathering here and watching this. But you need to see this on a metaphorical level. I mean, of course, here most people aren't aware they are doing this because it's normal. And here it might be fully okay, but where else in society, in which other situations do we behave in this way? And do things gather, pay attention, support, take part of habits and economy and society without ever actually thinking about the actual underlying objective reasons why we do so as society? What in society are we doing randomly instead of consciously? How much do you think? Like 80% of everything we do? 90%? 99%? Like, what are we doing naturally? Like automatically, without ever thinking about it. And it's just so embedded like a muscle in our minds. Without that we ever reflect on it and question it and think about if we can do something different or something different, you know? I mean, we could do all kinds of celebrations at New Year. Not just this. But this is just a metaphor. It's not about here now this year change, but it's about everything in society where you look at. Every economic chain, every habit, every political way, how we organize, how we perceive society, how we construct rules, laws, everything. It is constructed with exactly the same pattern that is in our minds and gets us to gather here, sit around and watch a firework at a random day at the year, just because somebody was setting this day as a year change. Somehow. I mean, there are other cultures that the year change is at another day. China. And it's not something objective. It's just sociologically objective, not objectively subjective. So it could be changed into anything else. And now, as we change our economic patterns and because of the shot in the dark, as you can see, the side effects of it will trigger society to question more and open a door, an opportunity to fully reshape society, or like not reshape, but let it reshape itself by thinking about it, questioning it, and thinking about what they actually want for their life. What do they actually want in their life? How do they want their life to look like? Do they want to eat all the stuff that they just eat because it's profitable for somebody else? Do they want to use platforms that are optimized to gain their data and sell it instead of using platforms in more and better ways for them without that the platform sells their data? Do they want to support political systems that are corrupt, or do they want to create new systems where they can truly decide and vote on topics instead of being manipulated by narrow-minded trench wars? Do people want, what do we actually want our life to look like? We are not going to heaven, as far as I know, maybe, I don't know. But why don't we make this place heaven by thinking about how can we actually create a society that we truly all want to live in? Or at least most. It's never perfect, but we can make it better. But sometimes you forget questioning things, like questioning Sylvester. Sometimes we forget questioning things, and that's when habits become unconscious and normal and outdated and completely senseless. I'm not speaking about this, but just look at the pandemic. There was a lot done senseless, but because it was an automated habit of organization. The system was just doing what it was supposed to do because of the way how it is constructed, and this way how our society is constructed in a systematic way has obviously become outdated. And we need to think about new ways of how we can compensate those patterns in a systematic way, how we can tickle people in their daily life to be more curious about these kind of things, so that people take their own power that they have but not take, because they can do whatever, they can do so much in their life, but most are just living the life like Sylvester. They're going here because somebody said this, ritual a few hundred years ago. Whenever the calendar was changed, somehow it was put at this day and time. That's why they're celebrating it. And somebody somehow got the idea with fireworks to make it on at Sylvester, and people liked it, and that's why it got popular. And it's similar it's with the food we eat and everything. It's just an accumulation of past decisions that now have become unconscious. At some point in time it was conscious, people were happy about this. But most we do in society, and I would say above 90% of everything we do in society and organizing society is unconscious. People are not thinking about that they want this or this or that. They just see the spectrum of what's available and normal, and then within that framework they make their choices, quote unquote choices. Because those choices, quote unquote, are twisted by those that have more influence and can see a little bit better, and then can set the incentives for politicians and everything, and they need to play by it like puppets if they want to or not. And yeah, we are just not aware. That's it. Are we aware, or are we aware in the sense of, like, are we aware in sense of awareness, or are we aware in sense of a product being used, like the warehouse, same word kind of, aware, or are one where, like warehouse, storage house.